Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray and today we start a brand new Let's Play on this channel. Today I've planned Krastorio 2 for you guys. As you know, my entry level to Mega Base is still going at the moment, but because of the quarantine, the COVID-19 pandemic going on in the world, I thought it would be a good idea to do a second series, just to give you guys a bit more content to look at and not to be completely bored at home. So that's what I'm gonna do for you today. So before we jump into it, please remember to give me a like and subscribe if you want to see more of this, and come and check us out on our Discord and join us on YouTube with a membership or Patreon for that matter. It will mean a lot to me, and we can start building some royalty badges for a lot of you. I think that could be very, very cool. But enough with that product placement, let's get on with the series. So as I said, I've planned Krastorio 2. It's a brand new mod that came out. I haven't played Krastorio 1 or the original one, so it's gonna be a completely new experience for me with whatever kind of problems that bring. So let's just get into it, and while we fire up a new map, I'm gonna explain a bit about the premise and how we're gonna do this. So as you can see, here is our settings. We have everything on pretty much default. I'll just need to load in one string we have, since I did plan out a world before this, just to have things planned out a bit. So let's see here, you can see the map string. We're playing default with a bit of modifications. Could in theory do something else, but I think that will be fine. So we're playing without cliffs. I think they are annoying and I don't really want to mess with them, so let's keep those out of the picture. We're also playing with biters on for once. I'm quite sure Krastorio has a few things to do with biters, so I think that'll be a good way to try that and experience that. Gonna record some playback information and always have our research queue on. I think that will do me very well. So enough of me chatting, let's jump directly into the series and see what we have planned. So this is pretty much the start of Krastorio. I haven't really tried it before, just spent a few minutes checking out the start. And yeah, it is pretty much a normal burner phase. A bit of modifications, since our research tree has changed quite a bit. There's a lot more steps, steam and stuff is locked behind different things, and automation tech is a new kind of science. So a lot of things to go through, a ton of things, gas power station, a ton of things you will have to research, and a lot of things to learn. Advanced labs, that looks kind of cool. So we're looking forward to trying all of this out. But first, we'll need to set up a standard base, just getting our rudimentary things up and running. So firstly, let's set up some miners. Kind of want to grab a bit of iron. Normally we set up two below each other like this, but from what I've understood, just go mine some stone. The smelting speed is a bit different compared to normally, or at least the throughput wise it is. So if we look at our furnace, placing down right here, changing it to iron, one of the things that has changed from my understanding is that right now we produce 5 iron plates for 10 iron ore. So that's pretty much half the throughput we have normally. And the crafting speed is 5 times as long, so that is the same for iron plates, but the input is twice as much, so we'll need twice as many of these. So just to get things started, let's mine up a bit of coal and start to get a bit of iron flowing. So as I was talking about at the start of this episode, I am doing this because of the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on in the world at the moment, or as it's more commonly called, the coronavirus. And yeah, Denmark has just gotten a 2-week extension on our, what's it called, shutdown, or where we have to work from home if we can. So that means that I'm working from home for at least the next 3 weeks, I think, or something like that. And even though I do have some work to do, I still want to give you guys that doesn't have any work at home or can't something to look at while we're getting over this pandemic. So as this is going, I want to explain a few things about a few of the other mods I've added. So in our current Let's Play, the entry level to Megabase, we're running side by side with this one. We are using robots, and I'm gonna do the same in this one because I've installed Robot World. That gives us robots early, and I'll build my base up around a grid-based network. My plan with this series is to research everything we can in the research tree, and not exactly trying to get to a certain science per minute. For example, like our 4K, we're doing at an entry level to Megabase at the moment. So that's why I want to try to do our robot start. It's been a while since we did that, and I thought Krastorio was a good place to try it out. So right now we're doing that. That means that I do have, like I said, Robot World Continued installed. And I will, as soon as possible, start to use robots to move things around. That'll give me time to do cool blueprints or cool designs for our base with all the new things we can do, without having to worry about massive spaghetti or spending a ton of time on that. It's also going to be fun to try and defend a grid-based build now that we have biters on. It's been something I haven't really done yet, so I'm looking very much forward to that. Let's get these, and let's pretty much hook up some coal down south. One other thing I've added is a mod I spotlighted a few months ago. Can't exactly remember when I did it, and that is Mining Depot. That means we'll get different miners than what we are normally seeing, just because I've been wanting to play with that mod for a long time, but my Factorio series didn't really allow me to do it, and my entry level to Megabase didn't either, since that's a vanilla playthrough. So right now I'm just trying it in this one with Krastorio, since I don't think it's going to change that much in terms of the gameplay. It will just change how we mine. So that's kind of the whole reason why I have done it like that. So while this is going, we are now producing coal, we are producing iron. And we can start to look a bit at some of the things we get from the start of Krastorio. So as you saw, Steam is locked behind research that needs power, and we can't really produce any. Or we can make wind turbines. Those produce 20 kilowatts per second, about a third of a solar panel. And we can use that to power our starting things to get research going. We also have a few things we can go around here and pick up. We also have these that can be used as assemblers, assembly machines, since we don't have those either. And we have a bit of power here in the damaged ship reactor. That is a very good way to get started. So right now I'm just going around picking up a bit of resources if we have any. just to get the show on the road. We also have a shelter. That is something that gives us a small amount of power and changes our spawn point. It's gonna be nice to see what different uses that can have in the future. Right now it's just gonna give us some power. To power, for example, our little lab right here that can get things going. So while I'm talking, let's just add in a few things here. And maybe set up a shelter right next to this. Just to use the items we have already. I'm thinking of expanding the base out this way. Having some steam up here in the corner. And I think that could be quite cool. So let's just place this one down right here for now. That will generate some power. And we could actually just hook it up to this one. And up to the rest, just to get things flowing a bit. Because right now crafting is taking a bit. Not that we're crafting a lot yet. But then at least we have power flowing. So let's go down to our miners. We should have a nice bit of coal stored up that can get these working again. We should be able to pick up some iron. So we can make a few more what's called burner mining drills to place on our what's it called, stone, to get some kind of output. So far I will just place down a few so we can get at least a stone flowing. Maybe one is enough for now. Just place it right in the middle, do that one and have you run. So we get stone without having to mine it by hand. That is always nice when you get to that point. Another burner. And not a single rock nearby. That's a bit sad. But the stone is slowly building up. So let's get these two added. So here, to get that working. And let's go mine a few trees. While this is producing a bit of iron for us. Trees plays a rather big role, from what I understand, in Krastorio. Because if you look at our science, that requires wood to craft. Only one wood per science, but nonetheless we will have to get some. Don't know if you can hear that bell going on outside. That is the, if any of you are Danish, hjemmeispilen. That is the, what should you call it? It's pretty much a car that brings, or a truck that brings ice cream to your house or outside your house, and then you can go buy some from that one instead of going to the supermarket. It's a nice little thing. I don't know if you guys have it in your country, but at least it's been one thing that's been a part of my life for many, many years. So what should we go for right now? Stone. Let's make some more burners. That is pretty much our main goal at the moment. Just getting this up and running. So probably add 3 to this in a nice normal setup. That should be fine. Let's give you a small amount. And then continue. Coal wise, we could start to craft a mining depot for the coal instead. And then move these up to iron. And I think that will be a better way of spending our resources at the moment. We'll just have to get a bit more iron to get our little guys up and running. Because now we could, in theory, pick up all of this and say we do have enough coal for now. And we'll just run these guys to do their work. If none of you have seen mining drones before, it is pretty much just a mod that lets you decide what kind of resources you want to mine. Add in some small drones, and look at that. I have a mini-me. Oh, that looks so nice. I love having those guys run around. So that will slowly but surely pick up coal at a rather nice pace. And that means I can steal these and just add that to a mining setup and get some automated iron flowing. Because that means we can do this. Craft just all of these right here. Add in a bit of coal. And remember to set up or what kind of resources they have to process. So that's pretty much four times as much iron flowing through. That is looking very good and a very nice start to this Let's Play. I want a few more drones. That pretty much doubled our coal throughput. And let's just grab you. So one of the first things we have to look for is pretty much our science. I kind of want to get steam as fast as possible since we don't produce that much power at the moment, and steam is very good for that. Automation wise, we do have some in the base. So what if we just get this one out the way and go into steam power? I think that could be good, and then we'll look into the rest of the research tree going forward. So we'll need a few of these, and as I said before, we don't have to craft them by hand because we are in that very lucky situation that we do have some assembly machines over here that we can use and a bit of power that works. So if we just do this one, for example, making basic cards, hooking up some power, then we can see our power grid is slowly starting to work. Not using anything, but please craft these for us. I can take out a bit of this just to have some on us. And then we are slowly building up some basic cards that can be used very soon. Let's go back and set up more things around here. More mining drones, adding in more iron production. Just gonna add in 4 for the coal right now. I think that'll be enough to supply what we need for the foreseeable future. There we are. They'll slowly mine. Now we need to set up copper production the same way we have set up iron. So that's one of the things we'll work towards next. Maybe just adding in 6 more of that. And giving you a bit more coal. So that is actually looking quite good. That is pretty much my main focus right now. Getting this into that one, into that broken lab or damaged ship research computer, and then get some steam power. One thing I can't remember though, or can't forget is what I'm trying to say, is that we do have biters, so we will have to remember to keep an eye out for those and not forget to do the research. Let's pick you up. There we are. So now we have a bit of copper going as well. We have some iron going. And we can start to continue the next part of this. We have some basic computer cores, or what they're called. Basic tech cards is what they're called. So we can start to do a bit of research. It can only take the first tier, so as soon as we go into red tech cards, what are they called? Automation tech cards. So it's just the same as logistic science, just with tech card instead. So let's just call them red, green, blue, and whatnot in terms of science. We could probably hook up a few more things here, maybe getting some iron plates to gear. just to have a bit of that running. Never know when you'll need some gears. Can get some of these as well. Just having some things run as long as we have enough power to drive the engines. So that's the 10 we need for basic fluids. Then we'll go back and look at this as soon as the research is done. Let's spread out a bit of this. Can do this instead, is sometimes a bit better than just right clicking. And I'm just pressing C or Z. If you're German, I think it's Y, because their keyboards are different. At least that's what you guys told me in the first episode of our intro level to Megabase. I learned something new at that point, and this is actually quite nice for putting out the coal a bit more evenly. Or at least not half in one of them. So let's just set up a few more. We could set up a few more burners just to get things going. Oh, that's a place where we can use our gear wheels. Let's make all of you. Because I do want to get a smeltery array or smeltery column going that feeds item into robotic robotic base we're gonna do. I was about to say mega base, since that's what I'm calling it in our intro base to into level 2 mega base series that's going on at the same time. So let's just see if we can not call it something like that. So that is that. That should also make it easier to make these. We can craft one of these now, I think. And oh, let's wait a bit. That's a bit of iron. Let's just get this running instead. And get up more of this before we expand into a smeltery array. So let's just do this. Let's double our iron. There we are. Let's get some coal. There we go. That is working very nice. And let's go grab a bit more. Could use a few more miners. Just to make sure we have enough. So that was our science done. Let's go up and see how many we've produced here and if we can get the next part started. We have about half of what we need. So when this is about half done, we'll go check on this again and do some more. You can have some and you can have some. And anything else we want to produce right now? Probably a ton of pipes, since I know as soon as we go into the steam engines, those will need quite a bit of pipe and other things. So now we have a bit of pipe, just to get things moving along. And nice amount of coal spread out. And the rest we'll just throw out normally. So there we are. So things are going along very nicely. Glad we have these two set up. We have a small amount of copper being produced. It's not overly needed right now. Oh. So we actually do need this one as well before we can get steam. Sneaky, sneaky people. That could mean that we should probably do, let's say, one more lab, or at least do some more production in terms of this. Could add one more lab. And that needs steel beams. So what if we change you to steel beams instead? And just get some of those made so we don't have to do it by hand. And just let this one handle it for us. It's actually quite nice that we start with this. I'm quite pleased with it. Because if I had to do all this by hand, that would have been a bit annoying. But right now I can build a nice stockpile of things to get us kickstarted. So the next thing, let's make a few more of these. We do have some of that. I want that for the pipe. I want this one. We can't do anything with the steam yet, but we can do this. Let's just handcraft that for now to get things going. And let's set up this little lab right here. And here's 10 for you. That should double how fast we do it. Though we don't have enough power to support it, so it might not... Yeah, let's pick it up. It's way too expensive having that running right now. Since... yeah, it'll slow down everything else. Wonder if this one and that one can power this going full speed. That might actually be the case. Anything you want to craft? We could set this one up to go a bit. There we are. Those will be needed for things in the future, for inserters for example. So that's more things we have automated. Power wise, it's taking a bit too much power. So let's stop it for now. I think that'll be better. I don't want to strain the network so things ain't running at full speed. Because what we need more than anything is our lab to get done with this part. Could add in a bit of wind turbines. But it's not that much to give. I'd rather go directly for steam engines since we're not needing the power that much at the moment. So a pretty good start to this series if I say so myself. I'm enjoying it quite a lot, and what we could do as one of the last things is to 1, 2, 3 for each of these, just to have all 3 of them going, collecting copper, iron and stone, so we can start to funnel that into a smeltery array we'll have over here. I think that could be quite good. So what if we just do this? We can have one maybe just right here for the copper. We can have one right here for the iron. And one right here for the stone. That way I think we can output without... Or might want to move this one somewhere else. Maybe just moving it up here to grab all the stone. And then we should be able to output around, let's just see. If we want to output this, pretty much these areas here. Down this way. That means we can do the same here and they don't interfere with each other. That's good, because we need this much room to fully saturate. Or at least fully cover one of those. And then the rest are good. Then we just add a few people to all of these. Oh, we have to set it to that one. Set you to copper, 2, 3, and you 4 can go into this one. Mining stone. And then I can pick up these. And spend that doing something else. So, mining going strong. Let's just set up a few more burners just to get this show on the road. And go grab a bit of copper as the last thing this episode. This one is going strong. No need to check on that. And let's just do this. Let's just get something kick started, and then we can put in more at a time. There we are. So that is a good amount of iron being produced. That's a good amount of copper. And then we're mining things as well that we can funnel into a smeltery array next episode. So I'll end the first episode here. I think it's been rather successful. Hopefully you think so as well, and will award me with a subscribe and a like. And if you're very daring, you can go and talk with me on Discord. We are a lot of people there at the moment, and we are having a blast. So do feel free to join in. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. All of you, gotten a few here the last couple of days. It means a lot to me in these demanding times with the COVID-19 and whatnot. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been Dgray, and I'll see you next episode. Bye, guys.